Hello everyone and welcome to AccuLeads. In this tutorial, we will go over the mapping tool and how to run an account with it. So we're going to start on the AccuLeads homepage and you're just going to select your file that you would like to run an account on. And we're just going to go with the compact consumer file. Select Start Search. We're going to focus on this Geography tab over in the left and then find the Mapping tab. So it's going to take you to this page right here, and you're just going to launch the map. And so there's definitely a lot to look at on this page between the left corner and the top left with all these tabs over here. But first, you need to start with finding a location. So I'm just going to show you what each option looks like. So we're going to put the zip where AccuData is located. And see, once you put in the zip code, it is going to give you the vicinity, but also the zip codes around it. As you can see, this is the zip code that we're looking for, but it's also giving you some over here, and even over here. So that is what it's going to look like. So let's select find location again. That's the same with what the carrier route is going to look like. Let's just use this carrier. Let's just select this carrier route right here. And so there it's going to show the zip codes again. And then I'm sure between here, you would select identify carrier route to further indicate the carrier routes, but we will go over that later. And then lastly, you can input an address to locate that. And we're just going to put in the AccuData address. And you also have the option to select the location. And so you can name it, so then it can be in your saved locations tab. And so there, this is what it's going to look like when you're trying to hone in on an actual location. You can zoom in even further. You can get in really, really close and see that is exactly where we're located. You can continue to zoom out and see what it looks like further away. It will load and show your location. So once we have our location, let's look at some other options. The select zip code tab right here. Use the buttons below to add or remove zip codes on the map. So here it is showcasing the zip code boundaries. We can select this zip code, and then you selected zip code 33919, and this will automatically add to your account that you're running. You can also select remove zip code, and then it will get rid of that. Select carrier route, it's the exact same thing. A lot more to look at here. And then you just select the carrier route that you would like. You selected the carrier route, and it will highlight that carrier route. So let's remove that. And then this one, draw circle. So this is an interesting one. It's for the radius. If you'd like to run a radius around this location and you want the visual, as you can see, we're pretty close to the water right here. And if we don't want to go past the water, but we want to do a radius around this would be a good idea to kind of use this visual. So let's draw a circle around it. So let's go here. And as you can see, kind of the furthest we could go is about 0.72 miles before we start hitting the water. You know, if we pull it out like that, we'd be just getting the water and kind of missing a lot of the radius. So we can get close, and that's how much it would be to not get close to the water. But that is how you draw a circle. So let's just clear that. Draw drive time. This one is interesting. Let's see. A lot of the times, one of the best practices is we don't really use drive time because it varies on the time of day. From the new placement drive time, click the map, just like specify the origin and see. So I clicked on the map and then put the drive time as 10 minutes, and it shows how far out you can go for that drive time. So this is where you can go within those 10 minutes. And so to clear that, we're just going to select clear map. It's going to load, and there, the map is cleared. Now let's try to draw a polygon. So this is just drawing a shape that you would like. If you would just like to target specific people, this especially works for neighborhoods and communities, then this is for you. So if you just want to indicate people that live near Ruttenberg Park, I know that this is a neighborhood right here, or a few neighborhoods. So you can just add point that's automatically selected for you. And you just want to indicate people that live in this neighborhood right here. So you would start here. And if you're really particular, you can really get close and like this. And then one big thing is to make sure to close the shape, or else it will not save. So we have this neighborhood. You can also move the edit the shape if you want it to go further out, or you didn't get a precise enough shape. You can kind of go there. You want to stay off the road. Zoom in on those houses right here. And then you just click save if this is okay with you. You can also remove points if you don't want that. You can go ahead and do that, but I definitely want to keep that in there. So I'm just going to add that back in. You can move the shape if that fits better. You can clear the shape, which I'm not going to click right now, or you can click save. So I'm going to save the shape, save this as Ruttenberg Park. You can save it as a shape, zip codes, or carrier routes. If you save it as a zip code, it's going to pull whatever zip code is within this shape. And same for the carrier routes, it's going to pull the carrier route within the shape. So best practice is to save it as a shape if you just want to keep these records in there. So let's save that. And then your shape has been successfully saved. That's what it looks like. And then we can zoom out and see our shape right there. So with these, you can just identify zip codes. Use your mouse to click on the zip code boundaries. It still shows them right here, but if you can't really see it, like this one, it might be part of a different zip code than what you think. So we can just select that. And so it is part of that 33919, but you can't really tell because it's far away and these boundaries are kind of small over here. Let's just check this one right here. I can't tell what zip code that is. That's 33913. And that is this whole area over here. So this is a huge zip code. And then same for identify carrier route. You can identify the carrier route using the mouse. As we saw earlier, you can do this. It shows you some information: income, median home value, median range, percentage of home with children. Yep. You can do that for the carrier route. And then we have the clear map option. As you saw earlier, it'll just get rid of everything that you had input on there. So I'm not going to click that because I want to keep that shape that I made earlier. And so we have these tabs up here. Let's see. So included shapes, it should show that Ruttenberg Park one that I have. You can find it again on the map, zoom the shape. You can also edit the shape. Let's see what it looks like. So there it is. And it's going to show you those points again. And then you can just edit those if you want to make it a little bigger. So let's stretch it back out to the road. And then you can save it. And it will open up a little more further. Included zip codes. If you have selected zip codes, it would show those. Same for carrier routes. And then saved locations. So I saved that AccuData location. So that is in there. If you'd like a screenshot of the map that you made, you would select create PDF, export, and then that should save for you to look at. Yep, opens in a separate PDF, and see it shows your shape and kind of the areas surrounding it. So now that we're all done, I'm just going to go back to count. And then from here, in the geography, it has shapes and shows my Rumberg Park. And let's just calculate the count that we would get from there. And I know it's a relatively small neighborhood, so 171 records is not very surprising for me, but that just shows you can kind of gather records within communities, and then it'll get those records within the shape. And so that is how you use the mapping tool in AccuLeads. Stay tuned for more videos, and for more help, check out our other videos. We have a broad video for just running a simple count, and then we'll have more specifics. For example, how to clean a suppression file and how to run a snapshot.